All right. What's up? What's up, everybody? I hope you're well. How you doing? How you doing? See folks coming on in. What's good? Welcome, welcome. I see you, Adrian, a couple Adrians, Amber, Anissa, Ann, Aki Raim, Barry, Beatrice, Brian, Bridget, Katanya, Celine, Charles, Christopher, Courtney, 3 Courtneys, Damian, Daniel, Darlene, Devon, Denzel Winfrey. Oh, that's a powerful name. That's a powerful name right there, Denzel Winfrey. What's good? What's good? What's good, everybody? I hope you're well. So happy to have you here for the webinar with Matt and I on the 6 best ways to finance multifamily real estate and scale your portfolio. For those of you who don't know, my name is Julien Gordon, aka Mr. Multifamily, and I'm just happy to have you here. You know, we're in interesting times in this real estate market, and we want to make sure that you can continue to buy real estate despite what you're hearing externally in terms of the news and the media, what you're seeing with interest rates and things of that nature. So just happy that you're here. In chat, please let me know how many doors do you have right now? How many doors do you have right now? Marilyn said 3, Patty said 2, Dexter 13. Yes. Omar 2, got a duplex. Jay 1. Marlene 1, Jay Young 3, Mercedes 0, Terry 2, Jay 2, Christy 2, Jada 2. So a lot of duplexes in the building. That's all right. There's some zeros. That's okay. All right. So we're going to cover different financing strategies for everybody. All right. So Matt is going to be here in just a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get started with our introduction so that as soon as he jumps in, we can get into the meat of it. So give me a second while I share my screen. Give me a second while I share my screen. All right. And also in chat, let me know, what market are you in right now? What market are you in? Give me cities or counties. Don't give me states, give me cities or counties. What market are you in? Share. So where'd the chat go? All right, so where we got people from? San Jose, Boston, Lake Charles, Louisiana, love Louisiana, Charlotte, Prince George's County, Brooklyn, Union County, Tampa, Newcastle County, Las Vegas, Austin, ATLians in the building. I see you, Courtney. Inglewood, Long Beach, or Oakland, Broward County in Florida, Atlanta, Los Angeles. Cool, so we got people from all over the country. This is good. All right, beautiful. So let me get the introduction out the way. For those of you who came in late, Matthew is on his way. He is headed up to his hotel room. He has some traveling delays, but I'm gonna get us started and he'll be here on time for us to go through the meat of the presentation. And so for those of you who don't know, my name is Julien Gordon, aka Mr. Multifamily, and I built the multifamily movement, over 292 closings on about $90 million worth of real estate in the multifamily movement. At this moment in time, I don't know of anybody who's helped more people close on multifamily homes than myself, and so I'm so grateful to be in this role and for this to be my God-given purpose. Now, this would not be possible without partnership with people like Matt. Matt, as you know, is MG, the mortgage guy. I actually call him MG, the mortgage god, because of his ability to understand multifamily real estate financing and get many of our students across the finish line. And so Matt and I have strengthened this partnership to make sure that we can help 300 people close in 2022, and we are well underway on that. Now, I was doing some history and some research, and there was Harriet Tubman, right, who we know is the #1 conductor on the Underground Railroad, and she freed folks. But Harriet Tubman was also financed by a man named William Steele, and he financed many of her trips. She also worked during the summers to save up to actually do her trip. She made 19 trips over the Mason-Dixon line and freed 300 people. So that's why that is our focus for this year, is to try to free 300 people. And so Matt is on that side of the equation, and I'm on this side of the equation. I am the #1 conductor on the above ground railroad, which is multifamily real estate. It is the pathway to freedom in today's world. For those of you who don't know, you may think that slavery is over, but it is not ended. Okay, we are engaged in what I call modern day slavery. Slavery has adapted. It is no longer physical chains. It is now mental and monetary. Slavery is now mental and monetary. All right. Now, real quick history lesson. Where did Harriet Tubman take people in the middle of the night when she was seeking to free them? Where did she hide them in the middle of the night? Anybody know? Where did Harriet Tubman hide folks in the middle of the night? Quick history lesson. She usually did her trips in the winter. So yes, they had to go through rivers, but they didn't stay in the river. There, J. Lou said it. In other people's homes, these were called safe houses. These were called safe houses. So do you realize that real estate has been part of your journey to freedom since day one? Real estate has been part of your journey to freedom since day one. And so multifamily real estate is what we call the above ground railroad. It is the pathway to freedom. But until you understand multifamily financing, you'll think that multifamily homes and building an entire portfolio is out of reach. And so really quickly, I need everybody to type portfolio. I need everybody to type portfolio. Okay. Everybody go ahead and type portfolio. Portfolio. Some people are like, I don't even know how to spell portfolio. No, I need you to type portfolio. Okay. The reason I'm having you type portfolio is because I want you to get out of the mindset of just having one property. All right. I need you to get out of the idea and the American dream of, oh, I just want to have a house. I just want to have a house, right? And we'll cover that later on. We want you to get into a portfolio mindset. And that's what this particular webinar is really about. You saw some people who have 0 doors at this moment in time, so they're still renting. You see people who have a single family home. You see some people with their first duplex. And I think our highest was 13 doors so far on this webinar. And so as you continue to scale your portfolio, there becomes some challenges and you have to find different financing strategies. And that's what this webinar is really all about. Now, Matt and I have helped many people close together and the 292 closings in the multifamily movement. He is responsible for about half of them. These are some of the people who we together have helped close. I've educated them. I taught them how to finance, find and finalize the deal. And then Matt was the one who actually brought the financing to the table after evaluating their financing folders and understanding the play that they were seeking to run. So this is Nova Kane, who closed in South Carolina. This is Natalie, who closed in, I believe, Connecticut. This is Sandy Chintis, closed in Cypress Hills, Brooklyn, New York. So a lot of people are like, oh, Julian, this doesn't work in expensive markets. I live in Brooklyn. I live in the Bay Area. I live in Los Angeles. Well, we have students who have closed in those exact places. Daffy closed in Albany, Georgia. He actually just closed on another one recently as well. You see Mitchell and Brene, who closed on properties with Matt and I teaming up. You see Afia and Linda, who have also closed based on the work that Matt and I do. And so we are a team, and this is why we're bringing this information to you, because we have a specific goal. Now, for those of you who don't know me and just want to test our credibility, this is my actual real estate portfolio. These are the properties that I actually control at this moment in time. I currently control about 38 doors all across the country in 4 different markets, in New York, Oakland, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and I also control properties in Atlanta, Georgia, that you don't see here. And so this is my actual personal portfolio. But in addition to my personal portfolio, I actually have more properties in that I am managing partner in a real estate fund, and I'm also a lead investor in several real estate funds, Black-owned real estate funds. And so when you add up my percentage share of those portfolios as well, I'm more around 80 doors than I am at 40. So 40 is my personal portfolio, 38 is my personal portfolio. And when you add in my percentage share of other funds, that is almost double. So this is the work that I do. And my journey only started in May of 2013 when I bought that first property in Brooklyn, New York, right here in the upper left. And since that moment in time, I have not paid a housing expense. I have not paid a mortgage since May of 2013, family. I've not paid a housing expense since May of 2013. Not rent, not principal, not interest, not taxes, not insurance, not CapEx, not repairs or vacancy rate. Imagine what would happen for you if you no longer had a housing expense for the rest of your life. Your housing expense is literally going to be the biggest expense that you have in your entire life. And if we can just get rid of that one single thing, it will ensure that you create regenerational wealth. not just generational wealth. Generational wealth is only handed down from one generation to the next, and usually the next generation fumbles, okay? But regenerational wealth is when you leave on cash flowing assets to the next generation. And this is what I've been able to do in less than a decade. So when it comes to real estate, this is not a get rich quick scheme. This is not a get rich quick scheme. This is a get rich guaranteed system over time. It is the most proven business model ever. I cannot guarantee you that Amazon will be here 100 years from now. I cannot guarantee you that Apple or Tesla will be around 100 years from now, all right? But I can guarantee you that as long as there are human beings on the face of this planet, then guess what? Multifamily real estate will still be here, and it'll be as valuable as ever, okay? And so this is what we are teaching you, is how to acquire this real estate, especially in the midst of the market that we are in, so that you can get in the game and not let the news and the media stop you from actually understanding how to run these plays, all right? So, okay, cool. So with that, our why and why Matt and I decided to team up is that we know that there's a growing gap between the rich and the poor. It used to be, right, that if you went to the right schools, you got the right job, you met the right people, you can get from one side to the other. But we know that that gap between the rich and the poor is growing wider and wider and wider, family. And soon it's going to get to a point where no matter what you do, no matter how many degrees you have, no matter how hard you work, no matter how much active income you make, it's going to be almost impossible for you to get from one side to the other, okay? Unless you have assets, cash flowing assets that ensure that you and your last name are on the right side of this equation. Because even if you have high active income, if your mortgage and your cost of living continues to rise due to inflation, just like gas prices and things of that nature, then guess what? You're still stuck in the rat race. You're just stuck in the rat race at a higher demand. Now your cost of living is $10,000 a month, right? And if your cost of living is now $10,000 a month, which is $120 per year, then you making $180,000 per year after taxes are still not free. You're just enslaved at a higher level. You're enslaved at a higher level, okay? So this is not about active income. That is the secret. The game, you've been taught to paper chase, but this game is not about active income. The person who has the greatest amount of passive income is who wins the game. And in just a matter of 8 years, I've been able to build $180,000 in passive income through real estate alone, just my real estate business alone. So collectively, if you look at my portfolio, I collect about $37,000 per month in rents. I do not keep all $37,000, okay? 60% of that goes to principal, interest, taxes, insurance, CapEx, repairs, and vacancy rate. So that leaves me with about 40%. 40% of $37,000 is about $15,000 per month. $15,000 per month times 12 months is $180,000 per year in passive income that I built in 8 years, okay, that will last forever. Some of you on the corporate plantation and in the rat race will never even achieve that with active income because you've been trading time for money. And you have to get out of that cycle if you want to be free, if you want to be wealthy. I will never trade a high active income for passive income because anybody with a high active income ultimately wants to get free by creating passive income streams. So you have to work for money. That's your first job. But your second job is to make money work for you. And many of you are failing right now. And I don't say this to put you down, but many of us are failing simply because we weren't taught, right? Simply because we weren't taught how to make money work for us. And once your money is working harder for you than you work for it, at that point, you can get free. I got to full financial freedom when I got up to like this property right here, okay? I had about 10 doors at that time, and that is when I achieved full financial freedom. You do not need millions of dollars in a bank account to achieve full freedom. Full freedom is when your passive income is greater than your cost of living, period. And so if each rental door, if I had 10 rental doors, right, and they were each producing $400 per month in cash flow, right, after principal, interest, taxes, insurance, CapEx, repairs, and vacancy rate, in terms of that's the money that I collected, that's $4,000 a month. And if my cost of living was not $4,000 a month, then guess what? I'm fully financially free simply because I created $4,000 a month in positive cash flow, in passive income, right? So this is some of the mindset that you have to break in order to understand the most direct path to freedom is not getting the highest active income and just having a pile of money sitting in a bank account. The fastest path to freedom is actually to grow your passive income month by month by month, year by year by year, by acquiring a property every single year. Okay, are y'all capturing this? Are y'all with me? Are y'all understanding? Okay, so with Matt and I, we are trying to close the wealth gap. Literally, we are trying to close the wealth gap. We know that the world's wealthiest people all have real estate in their portfolio. Okay, of course, EYL, Earn Your Leisure, is teaching you all the different methods to build wealth, but we know the one that is core and a staple in order to build wealth is real estate. And so we are closing the wealth gap one brick at a time, through how we've teamed up on the education and the execution piece. All right. So these are some of our students who have closed all across the country on multifamily real estate. And like I said before, you are now rocking with the best. You are literally now rocking with the best. There's nobody that I know of that has helped more people close on multifamily real estate than myself. There's no other individual that I know of in the country that has helped more people close on multifamily real estate than myself. And I say that humbly. If you know of somebody who has helped more people close on multifamily real estate than myself, then please let me know. But at this moment in time, the multifamily movement has helped 292 people close on their first multifamily home and their second and their third and their fourth. In fact, one person has 8 properties, okay? That's $87 million worth of real estate acquired. That's $10 million in positive in revenues, rental revenues every single year, and about $3 million in positive cash flow that will be in these families' names forever, okay? And we're just getting started. And so we want you to be part of that. And Matt and I are trying to accelerate that process because we know how important it is. Because guess what? What's today's date? What's today's date, family? Today's date is the 30th. And in 2 days, rent is due. Rent is due. And rent is going to continue to be due until you do something about it. There's no way to shake it. There's only 3 ways to get rid of your housing expense forever. Does anybody know what they are? You can live in a tent, okay? You can go to jail, or you can buy multifamily real estate. Those are the only 3 ways to get rid of your housing expense forever. Marlene said to die. Well, when you die, guess what you still have to pay for? You still have to pay for a funeral plot. And a funeral plot is what? It's real estate. Even if you die, you still have to pay for real estate. The only way that I found to get rid of your housing expense forever is to actually acquire multifamily real estate. And so that is the focus, all right? So we're gonna focus on some down payment programs that don't require you to put 25% down. We're gonna focus on deal flow. We're gonna focus on deal analysis, right? But most importantly, we're gonna show you 6 strategies that you can use to get financed. This is what blocks people. Many people don't feel like they feel like money is the biggest issue when it comes to acquiring real estate, and it's not. Money is not the biggest issue. Finding the deal is harder than finding the money. Finding the deal is harder than finding the money. But if you don't understand how financing on multifamily real estate works, then you'll think that money is the biggest issue, and it's not. For those of you with poor credit scores, guess what? There's ways around that. For those of you who don't have a huge savings, guess what? There's ways around that. What you cannot avoid is the work that is required to find a great deal. But the money is available. And the reason the money is available is because real estate is a physical, tangible asset. The bank is not going to finance you $300,000 or $500,000 or $1 million for your 10-page business plan and you haven't sold one product. But they will finance you for some brick and mortar, because they know that if you ever fail to make that mortgage payment, then they can actually reclaim that property, foreclose on it, take it back, being that they're in first lien position, and sell it and get their money out of the deal, okay? So when you truly understand how financing works, that opens you up, and then your next step becomes to find that deal and to finalize that deal. So here in this particular webinar, we're going to focus on financing. We're going to focus on financing just to get you over that first hurdle. Now, for those of you who stay till the end, what we're going to do is we're going to send you a list of 147 down payment assistance programs. I put this together. They're all organized by state. So literally you'll look at this list of down payment assistance programs, you'll find your state, and you'll look for one that fits you. Some of them are $5,000 grants. right? Literally just $5,000 that you don't have to pay. Some of them, if you take a landlord class, they'll roll your closing costs into the loan, which means less money out of pocket for you. Okay, so we're doing everything in our power to help you save money and make money in this process. Now, you know, in the past, Matt and I have talked about the 4-3-2-1 strategy. And most people, based on the American dream, think that right out the gate, going from renting, they should buy their dream home or start with a single family home. And that is a climb to freedom. It is actually harder to get free when you follow the quote unquote American dream. The American dream is actually American nightmare. And the reason they called it a dream is because they had to rock you to sleep in order to get you to believe in it. I don't want to dream, right? I want to dream awake, not when I'm asleep. I don't remember my dreams when I sleep. Why? Because I dream awake. A lot of people daydreaming on their day jobs, or they only dream when they're asleep. That is not when I want to dream. I want to live out my dream every single day, okay? And that is a true American dream, is when you're living it out, not just when you're thinking about it or you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. And so a lot of people fall victim to buying a single family first because that's what the American dream and HGTV says. And it's not true, okay? And so we are here to show you there's a faster path to freedom if you don't do what everybody else is doing. There's a faster path to freedom if you do not do what everyone else is doing, okay? And so we teach the 4-3-2-1 strategy, where you actually have a countdown to freedom instead of a climb to freedom, where you start with the fourplex, and then you downsize to a triplex, and then you downsize to a duplex, and then you downsize to the single family that you desire. And guess what? You won't even have to pay for it, because the cash flow produced by the rental properties that you have will not only pay for that mortgage, but are now covering your car notes, your student loan, your child's tuition and childcare, your food, your internet, your cell phone. You want a door for every expense that you have. Okay, this is why I need you to build a portfolio. You want to have a door for every expense that you have. Okay, this is how you get free. You have all this money going out every single month in 12 different ways. So guess what that means? That means you need to have 12 different doors to pay for those expenses. We are in the business of providing quality, affordable housing to people who are not positioned to own on their own yet. See, there's been a narrative out there about all landlords are slumlords, and it's not true. I provide quality, affordable housing to about 70 people. My 38 doors house about 70 people who are not in a position to buy real estate yet. And so guess what? They still need housing, and somebody has to provide that housing. And so that's what we're in the business of doing. And especially in our communities, we are trying to reclaim these properties back from slumlords who do not care about our people whatsoever. And we are trying to raise the quality and standard of living in our communities by taking ownership and control of these properties. My Section 8 tenants, they love me. Half my portfolio is Section 8. They love me. I take care of them. I treat them like they've never been treated before. They've been dealing with slumlords who don't fix anything, don't care if they have roaches and rodents, right? Who are right on their neck for rent, even though they haven't fixed anything, but expect rent to be paid in full, right? This is our opportunity to take back what is ours. These quote unquote hoods that we made, that we live in, right? We actually have to own. Can't call it my hood if I don't own it, right? And so this is our time and this is our opportunity. And so this is what we're focused on. So your first fourplex, that's going to pay for itself with the rental revenue and your cars. Then your triplex pays for itself, your food and your cell phone, right? Then your duplex pays for itself and your single family. And then your single family is free. This home that I am in right now, guess what, y'all? It's my single family. You think I got a mortgage? Nope. I own it free and clear. I own it free and clear. But see, I had discipline and patience. I didn't buy a single family home until I had 20 doors. I didn't buy a single family home until I had 20 doors. Okay? So this is some of the sacrifice that you may have to make in order to get free. But some of you want what you want right now. You just want what you want right now. You want to keep up with the Joneses. You want to compare yourself to other people. You want to watch other people's Instagram feeds, right? And so you do what they do, and then you realize that you're now in bondage too, because you were copying, because you were comparing. But if you actually take the road less traveled, you will find that you get free faster. And that's exactly what I did. But it takes courage. It takes courage. And some of you don't have the courage, and that's okay. Hopefully, with the education that we give you, it builds up your courage to be able to say, you know what, I'm gonna do this different. Somebody has to break the generational curses. Some of you come from families who have been renting for multiple generations, have never owned anything. Are you going to be the one that breaks that curse? Or are you going to kick the can down to the next generation, to your children? Imagine if, with the snap of your fingers, you could collect back all the rent that your mother, your father, both sets of grandparents, and all 4 sets of great-grandparents paid. Imagine if you could have all that money back, and not just the rent money that they paid over, what, 100 years, but also all the mortgage interest that they paid over the past 100 years. Imagine if you could have all that back right now. It would change your life instantly. Instantly. And so that is what we are doing. That is what we are teaching. And that is the next step, okay? So as I said before, many of you have a negative relationship to debt. You think that debt is bad, and this is why you have been afraid to get a mortgage. Now, a mortgage on a single family home is not good. And the reason it's not good is because the word mortgage literally means death pledge. If you take the prefix mort, or as in mortician and mortuary, the word mortgage literally means death pledge. And so when you get a mortgage on a single family home, you've literally signed up for a death pledge. Yeah, I know you posted your little picture on Instagram. Look at me, I'm a home buyer or a home owner. That's what you think, but you're really not a homeowner. You're a home buyer. The bank bought your home. You didn't buy it. You thought you weren't paying rent anymore. You're not paying rent to a landlord. You're paying rent to the bank to use their money. That rent is called interest, because you didn't have the money to buy that single family home. So HGTV has convinced you that you're a homeowner, and you're not. We have to be very careful with our language. You're a home buyer. I own this home. I'm a homeowner. Okay. I own it free and clear. I don't owe any bank. There's no first lien position. Okay. You are a home buyer when you get a mortgage on a single family home. Okay. And on top of that, that single family home, it did not cost $300,000. That was the sticker price. But where they stick you in the back is the $208,000 of interest that you're going to pay over the next 30 years on that property. So that property was not $300,000 that you bought. That property was actually $508,000. But the sticker price that you saw was $300,000, and you bit. You went for it. This is a deal. Oh, and that doesn't even include the private mortgage insurance, your homeowner's insurance, your property taxes, and all the maintenance over that 30-year period. So that $300,000 property is more like a $700,000 property. Money literally going out the door. Now, my prayer for you is that your property appreciated significantly. But that appreciation is not real money. You want to know why? You want to know why? Because that appreciation is only covering all the interest that you've been paying this entire time. So it's not real gain. The appreciation on many of your properties is not real gain, because it's just covering the interest that you paid the entire time, right? Are y'all with me? Are y'all understanding me? Okay, so we want to change our language and our mindset from I want to own a home or a house to I want a portfolio. I want to provide quality, affordable housing for people in my community who have been victims to slumlords. And as a result of providing that service, I actually get some profit, and I'm able to use that profit to get free. Just think about this, y'all. For somebody to say, I'm not just going to think about housing for my own family, but I'm actually going to be concerned about housing other families. That is a noble thing. I'm concerned, and I'm actually going to take a risk to go buy and take out debt on another property to house other people who cannot yet afford a house of their own. If there were not ethical investors like ourselves, then where would people live? Where would people live? See, that's what people don't understand in this conversation. And so we get to change the narrative as ethical investors, as people who put people before profits. If you were just here to extract profits from people through rent, then this is not the webinar for you, okay? We already have slumlords for that. Here, we put people before profits, and when we serve people in the highest, with the highest quality and the highest standard, then guess what? Our business model works. My tenants stay with me for long periods of time, right? Because I treat them well, right? So this is where we're going. So when we're talking about multifamily real estate, and just to let you know, Matt is having some technical difficulties right now, so I'm going to keep on pushing, and I can teach this myself, but of course I want my brother here by my side, but I can teach this myself, okay? So when we're talking about multifamily real estate, we are not talking about those 60-unit buildings that you see when you drive down the freeway, okay? Some of you live in some big apartment complexes. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about 2-family, 3-family, or 4-family homes, okay? These are also known as duplexes, triplexes, or fourplexes, right? And there are only 2.6 million of them in the entire United States. They only make up 18% of the rental supply. So we are looking for a very specific, rare asset, okay? And I'm trying to make sure that you get one, for not just one, but multiple for you and your family. Now, what most people don't know is that financing for a 2-family, 3-family, and 4-family home falls under the same residential guidelines as financing for a single-family home. The same exact bank, the same 30-year fixed rate mortgage, the same interest rate, the same documents that you would use to acquire a single-family home are the same documents that you would need for a 2-family, 3-family, or 4-family home. And most of you didn't know that. Once you get to 5 units or more, that is considered a commercial property. And that is a different lending process, a different bank, a 20-year fixed rate, and typically a higher interest rate, okay? So this is one of the secrets that people do not know, is that with the same process that I would use to acquire a single family, I could have bought a multifamily this entire time, okay? Now, how do you get to rent and mortgage freedom? Meaning that you never have a housing expense for the rest of your life? Because for most Americans, 35% of their income goes to housing, whether that is rent or mortgage. So how do you get to rent and mortgage freedom? Typically, you're going to need a triplex or a fourplex for your first purchase. A triplex or a fourplex. I know some people had some duplexes here. There's some single family homes. But when you have a duplex, the rents from one side, while you live in this side, the rents from this other side do not cover principal, interest, taxes, insurance, capex, repairs, over vacancy rate. So that you will still have money coming out of your pocket for housing. But that money that's coming out of your pocket for housing will likely be less than what your tenant is paying or what you were paying for rent. So we typically want to go for a fourplex on our first investment, and then go down to a triplex, then a duplex, and then a single family, okay? So this is the steps of the process. We are going to answer questions live at the end. We are going to answer questions live at the end. If we try to answer questions in the midst of the presentation, literally we can be here for hours and hours and hours. What's that song by her? I could do this for hours, right? We could do this for hours, all right? So I want your questions to be answered, but we're going to answer them live at the end. Is that cool? Is that cool? So hold your questions, write them down. I do not want you to forget them, but the presentation is likely going to answer many of your questions along the way. All right. So again, back to rent and mortgage freedom. For those of you who are not experiencing it yet, rent and mortgage freedom is a result of buying multifamily real estate, which has cash flow that eliminates your housing expense forever. Again, most Americans, their housing expense is about 35%. 35% goes to housing. So if you're making $3,000 per month, then about $1,000 is actually going towards your housing, whether that is rent or mortgage. So imagine what would happen for you. Imagine what would happen for you if, just like that, with one single move to acquire multifamily real estate, you never had a housing expense for the rest of your life. What would change? In chat, let me know what would change for you if you never had a housing expense for the rest of your life. What would change for you if you never had a housing expense for the rest of your life? Let me know in chat. Ty said everything. Ryan said everything. Everything, everything. Freedom, stress, more money to invest. able to travel more, buy more stocks, everything, location, freedom, life, retire early, savings. We don't save money over here, family. Saving money is death. Dead presidents, we're supposed to resurrect them. We don't save money over here beyond our emergency fund. Generational wealth, access to resources, crypto and DeFi, invest, help more families. Okay, help more of my family. Beautiful. Good, good, good. So everything that you're typing right now, I'm able to experience, and I am experiencing because of my multifamily real estate portfolio. So you are exactly right. Multifamily real estate is the vehicle to get you everything that you were typing in right here and right now. All right. So let me just explain this to you. If we can literally just get rid of your housing expense, whether that is rent, right, or a mortgage interest, if we get rid of your housing expense, and let's say your housing expense is $1,000 a month, and we can invest that at 6% annually, do you know how much money all of you would have over the next 30 years if we could literally just stop you from paying rent or a mortgage interest? You would all be millionaires. $1,000 per month invested at 6% for 30 years is $1,015,590. You would all be millionaires if we could simply just do this one thing: get rid of your housing expense. That's it. I'm not asking you to magically pick the right stock. I'm not asking you to pick the right crypto or NFT. None of that. No guessing here. If we can literally just do this one single thing, which is get rid of your housing expense forever, I can almost guarantee that over the next 30 years, you and your last name will be millionaires. And this is cold hard cash millionaires, not just equity millionaires. This is also, there'll also be equity in your property on top of that. But just off of the cash you're saving alone, by not having a housing expense, you would be a millionaire, guaranteed. Okay? But again, it's a long-term game. A lot of y'all are into get rich quick schemes. How much money have you really made in crypto? Okay. How much money have you really made in NFTs? You just looking for a lick, a quick lick? Are you making money consistently every single day? It's one thing to buy one and see it go up and pull out. That's great. But how much did you lose? Do you even know? Because you just keep pouring money back in. Do you really even know how much you made or how much you lost? I know exactly what my real estate portfolio has done for me. I know exactly how much I'm going to get every single month in rental revenue and profit. I can almost anticipate appreciation. I know exactly what my tax savings is going to be because I own multifamily real estate. So don't get caught up in these bright, new, shiny objects when multifamily real estate is the most proven business model of all time. One that will last forever, okay? I hope you win big on that NFT, on that crypto, on that stock. I hope you win big. But guess what? Once you win big, guess what you have to do? You're typically going to have to go put it into real estate or your own business. All right? So first thing we got to do is get you off this HGTV foolishness, right? When people are in my program, I tell them they cannot watch HGTV. They can only watch JGTV because HGTV will literally tell you to do the opposite of what I'm teaching you to do. It will tell you to do the opposite of what I'm teaching you to do, okay? Your first investment property will not look like this, family. Your first investment property will not look like this. I wish your first fourplex looked like this. It will not, okay? Typically, your first investment property is going to be a B-class property, not in the hood, okay? I want you to be safe where you live and feel comfortable, but it's typically going to be a B-class property, not some A-class high-end property that you might see on HGTV. This was my first home in Brooklyn, New York, my first multifamily, the triplex that I showed you earlier. My first home was not my dream home, but it made my dreams possible. Did y'all catch that? My first home was not my dream home, but it made my dreams possible, right? They put linen white paint over everything. They could at least put that gentrification gray. What y'all know about that gentrification gray paint? How many of y'all got gentrification gray in your apartment or your house right now? Keep it real. How many of y'all got gentrification gray in your apartment or house right now? Okay. Look at my countertops, Formica countertops, no granite. My appliances, white appliances, no stainless steel. Cabinets, basic cabinets from Lowe's or Home Depot. If I would have walked into this property with HGTV eyes, I would have walked out and missed out on the opportunity. But this property is appreciated by over $400,000 over the past 8 years. That's $50,000 in new net worth for doing nothing over the past 8 years. Some of y'all don't even make $50,000 per year in active income working 2,000 hours per year. I had to do nothing except buy right in order to experience this increase in equity. Okay. I saw the wave coming from Manhattan to Dumbo. What did Jay-Z say in 444? Should have bought that property in Dumbo, right? Then to Fort Greene, then to Clinton Hill, then to Stuyvesant Heights, then to Bed-Stuy. And so I bought in Bed-Stuy before the wave hit Bed-Stuy. And what was Bed-Stuy called? What was Bed-Stuy called in 2013, family, when I bought this property? It was called thank you, Jamila, Do or Die Bed-Stuy. That's where I bought. I bought in a neighborhood called Do or Die. Who wants to live in a neighborhood called Do or Die? I did, because I knew what was about to happen. I saw what was changing. I was able to identify the 33 signs of gentrification. And I realized that Bed-Stuy had about 10 to 15, and it was moving towards 33. And so now that wave is all the way out in East New York towards JFK. And my appreciation on that property just gone up and up and up, and it's stuck because it's New York. It ain't ever going down, right? And I'm able to use that equity through a HELOC or refinancing to buy more and more real estate in smaller, less expensive markets. So you got to learn how to play the game, right? You cannot work your way to wealth. So you got to decide what side of the equation do you want to be on. Are you going to be a single family HGTV buyer that's looking for granite countertops? Are you going to be a multifamily real estate investor that's looking for guaranteed cash flow? Are you going to be buying based on emotions? Or are you going to be buying based on economics? Right? Are you looking for your dream home? Or are you going to be looking for an asset that will pay for your dream home? Are you looking for a finished basement? Or are you looking to start building wealth? Which side of the equation do you want to be on? Okay. If you stick with me and Matt long enough on the right side of the equation, we can get you the home that you desire for free without you paying for it. But if you want to keep up with the Joneses and you want to follow the American dream, you want to feel the pressure, you want to compare, then good luck on that path to getting free. You will only slow your process, and it will take you longer and longer and longer, meaning more years of work, more savings, less freedom. Okay. So many people think that you need a lot of money to get started in real estate, and you don't. You don't. And I'm going to prove it to you. I bought that property in 2013. Here's my W-2 from 2012, family. This is my actual W-2 from 2012, and I only made $35,000. So I bought a triplex in Brooklyn, New York, when I wasn't making a lot of money, in New York City, the most expensive market in the world, while I was an entrepreneur, and within 3 years of an economic recession. So this is proof that you do not need lots of money to get started in real estate, especially multifamily real estate, right? This is my actual W-2. This is what the lender used to qualify me for that triplex in Brooklyn, New York. But because you didn't understand how real estate, multifamily real estate in particular, was financed, you didn't believe that you could actually get in the game with your low income. How, Sway? How, Sway? I'm going to show you how, okay? So if you go to buy a single family home, the lender will typically finance you for about 6 times, right, what your W-2 income is. So if your W-2 income for this pink single family in New Orleans, which is one of my major markets, 6 times 40 is $240,000. Now there's other factors that apply, like your credit score, the consistency of your income, et cetera. But in general, a lender will finance you for about 6 times your W-2 income, okay? That's if you buy a single family home, all right? But what most of you didn't know is that multifamily real estate is financed a little bit differently, all right? And it makes a huge difference, all right? So get your mind blown emojis ready. Y'all ready? Watch this. If you instead buy a multifamily home, what you didn't know is that the lender will give you credit for 75% of the rents that you are going to get once you acquire the property, and they will add that to your W-2 income today and then qualify you based on that number. So this is an actual fourplex that I own in New Orleans, okay? And imagine that each door is $1,000 of rent. That's $4,000 a month. Times 75%, that's $3,000. Times 12 months is $36,000. So the lender will take that $36,000 in future rental income. I haven't collected one rent check, but they will take that $36,000 in future rental income, add it to my $40,000 of W-2 income, and then qualify me based on $76,000 of income. 76 times 6 is $456,000. So I'm literally able to buy twice as much real estate because I bought a multifamily home instead of a single family home. So you just simply didn't know how real estate was financed. So hear me out on this. It is actually easier to buy a multifamily home than it is to buy a single family home. You heard it. It is easier to buy a multifamily home than it is to buy a single family home. The reason I was able to buy a triplex in Brooklyn, New York with only $36,000 of income is because New York rents were so high. So when you take $2,000 per month in rents for the 2-bedroom and the 3-bedroom that I had up there, right? Actually, for the whole building, $6,000, right? 75% of that is $4,500 times 12 months is $54,000. So 36,000 was my W-2, right? Plus 54. So now they're qualifying me based on $90,000 of income. This is how. So some of you have been taking yourself out of the game because you just thought that you didn't make enough, but you just didn't know how real estate was financed. Okay. So again, you got to get off of, we're going to get into all the loan types. We're going to get into that in just a second. Okay. So you got to get off the American dream because a lot of y'all are dating. How many, if you single, type single. If you are serious, type serious. If you engage, type engage. And if you married, type married. If you single, type single. If you serious, type serious. If you engaged, type engaged. If you married, type married. All right. So this is for my single and my serious and my engaged folks. Okay. Don't do stupid stuff like this. Do not buy your first home together. Don't. It's romantic. Oh, we bought our first house together. It is the stupidest thing that you can do when it comes to building wealth for your family. You never, ever want to tie 2 people to 1 mortgage. You never want to tie 2 people to 1 mortgage. So now you have this $300,000 mortgage and you both put your names on the mortgage. So now it looks like your family has $600,000 worth of debt when it's really only $300,000 worth of debt. So whoever has the highest income and can get finance for that home by themselves, they should go get that home. In fact, you should both buy multifamily homes first and then bring your kingdom and queendom or however it worked for you together. That's how we start building wealth as a community. But instead, you want to keep up with the Joneses. You want to do the romantic thing. We bought our first house together. And you literally cut your wealth in half together. You were cutting the cake and you were cutting your wealth in half because you were following the American dream, trying to keep up with the Joneses. See, it's little stuff like this that'll literally throw you off. Your friends follow the blueprint. They follow Matt's blueprint. They follow the multifamily master plan. And now they have double the wealth that you have because you wanted to do the romantic thing. Oh no, I know, but I just want to buy our first house together. You know, it's our big investment. We're going to live there. We're going to have our kids there. We're going to buy our first. You trying to create wealth or you trying to look cute on paper and on Instagram? Okay. Instead, you divide and conquer. Okay. You divide and conquer. You both go get your multifamilies, then you come together and you let the rental income or the cash flow from that multifamily, those 2 multifamilies, actually buy you your dream home. This is the process. Now you have your dream home and you aren't working for it. You aren't paying for it. You have it because you are housing other people. And the gain that you get, the profit that you get from providing quality, affordable housing to other people actually gives you the freedom to buy your dream home without you paying for it. Even if both of you were to lose your jobs, family, your dream home would still be yours. Are y'all getting this? Mabel said it right. Key rings before wedding rings. Key rings before wedding rings. This is really crucial. right? This is really crucial. You can double your wealth if you both are on the play, or you can cut it in half. It's up to you, okay? So this is Alan, right? He's a vet. He uses VA loan, which we're going to talk about in just a second. He uses VA loan to buy this property. He said, hello, Jullien. I want to thank you for the great service you provide. I learned a great deal from your detailed instruction for the past 3 months during the pandemic, and I recently closed on a multifamily property in Baltimore, Maryland on 6/17/20. The property cash flows and is an appreciating market with built-in equity as well. I would not have had the confidence to handle the deal like such a boss without the expert knowledge provided in your course. I feel like I have the answers to the test every step along the way. Thanks again, brother, for the gateway to freedom and generational wealth. I will certainly pay it forward. So Alan went on to propose to a significant other on the 3rd floor of that property, right? They got engaged, they got married 2 months later, they gave birth to a child 3 months after that. And what did he say? Key rings, same thing Mabel said. Key rings before wedding rings. Key rings before wedding rings. Okay? So now I know you're here. I had to get that out of the way just to flip some of your mindset around multifamily real estate financing. We're going to go into the specific strategies right here and right now, because I know all y'all are here like, Jullien, okay, well, we 52 minutes in, and Jullien, show me the money, okay? I get it now, but show me the money. How many are ready for me to show you the money? Okay? How many are ready to just show me the money? Okay? So the reason I'm not showing, the reason I took a minute to show you the money is because some of your mental real estate is off. You think that you just want to go straight to the step A through Z. But the reason some of you don't have any physical real estate is because of your mental real estate. You have a lot of limiting beliefs and mental blockages that are stopping you from actually understanding and getting into the game. So we had to get those out of the way first to just show you that this is possible. Okay. But now that we've addressed some of the mental real estate up here, the most important real estate that you have, now we can actually get into the tactical. The problem is that many of you have been pursuing the tactical, but you haven't been addressing the mental. Okay. And here's how I know. Almost all of you have read Rich Dad Poor Dad, or you bought it. 40 million people have bought Rich Dad Poor Dad, but 40 million people have not bought real estate. So there's a gap there. There's a knowing doing gap. I had the information. I watch EYL all the time. I'm on Market Mondays. I'm watching all these YouTube videos on how to buy multifamily real estate, but I haven't bought multifamily real estate. There's a knowing doing gap, and that is your mental. This is the knowing doing gap right here. This is why you weren't able to get to the promised land over here. It's because you know better, but you're not doing better because there's something blocking you here. So I know a lot of you want to skip steps. You want to go straight to the tactical, but you've had the tactical for however long. You've been wanting this for 5, 10, 15 years now, and you still haven't done it. You've had all the tactical. You can go try to piece this together on YouTube, on blog posts, podcasts. You can watch all the podcasts, blog posts that you want. You have the tactical, it's there. What nobody teaches you is the mental real estate. Okay? It says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, not the renewing of your YouTube playlist. All right? So, strategy number 1, okay, is FHA. FHA, okay? FHA is one of our favorite plays to run. And many of you know this. And for those of you who already have doors, who already use FHA, stay tuned, okay? So with FHA, you literally only have to put 3.5% down, okay? 3.5% down. So this is a duplex that I control in New Orleans, and 3.5% down is only $10,500, okay? It's $10,500, right? And so this is a very, very powerful. So let me show you what that looks like, right? $300,000, 3.5% down, $10,500, okay? To control a $300,000 property. The rents on this property are $3,200. The mortgage is $1,259. The taxes, insurance are $335, and the capex, repair reserve, and vacancy rate are $515. Okay, this is money that I set aside from rents every single month for future repairs and vacancy. All right. Some people say, Jullien, how do you fix the property? Well, every month when I get the $3,200 in rent, I set aside $515 every single month for future repairs. Does this make sense? CapEx is capital expenditures, roof, foundation, electrical, plumbing, HVAC. I know that those are going to be big bills later on, so I'm starting to save for them now, today. Big expenses don't come out of my pocket. They come out of my CapEx and my repair reserves that I've been saving. Does this make sense? Okay. And then the cash flow on this property is $1,090 every single month for the rest of my life. Okay. So here's an old rent check from this property. I bought this property in 2019. This is an old rent check from that property. Okay. $3,200 every single month, $1,600 per unit. All right. So answer me this. What other business can you buy for $300,000 with only $10,500 down, get financed for the other $289,000 in 30 to 45 days simply by emailing some documents to a lender, have that business immediately cash flow in 30 days, and succeed with minimal time, effort, or experience? Please let me know in chat. There are none. There are none, family. Rest in peace to Alex Trebek. This is why multifamily real estate has to be the first asset in your family's name. There are so many benefits from it, removing your housing expense, it providing you with cash flow, providing you with tax savings, right? And also principal pay down and appreciation, right? These 5 benefits, there's no other asset class that provides you with all 5 of those things. You cannot live in your stock portfolio. You cannot live in your cryptocurrency. You cannot live in your NFT, okay? But you can live in your multifamily home. So not only is it an asset, but it also removes your biggest expense that you will have in life, even greater than taxes, which is your housing expense, okay? So here's why you buy your multifamily first and not a single family, okay? So listen to this. If you use your 3.5% down for your single family on a $100,000 single family, right? That's $3,500 down payment. Oh, look at me, I got a house for $3,500, okay? But then you come to this webinar, you say, Julian, I want to be a multifamily real estate investor now. Little did you know is that you're gonna have to put 25% down for a non-owner occupied multifamily home. If you do not live in the property, it's gonna be 25% down. So 25% down on that $300,000 property is $75,000. So let's add up those 2 down payments and watch this. That's $78,000 worth of down payment, okay? Okay, now watch this. Get your mind blown emojis ready. I'm going to answer questions live at the end, family. I see you asking questions. Everybody, please hold your questions, copy them, paste them on a Word document, on a note, and I'm going to answer questions live at the end. Okay, I got to get through the presentation first, which is the reason people came, and any miscellaneous questions about the presentation or otherwise, I will answer at the end. Is that fair? Is that cool, everybody? I'm just seeing tons of questions in the chat. I know you're excited. I know you want to learn, right? But I'm literally teaching 1,000 people right now. So I can't just run off down this road with you when these 1,000 people came here for a specific reason, which was to learn these 6 strategies. All right? It would actually be selfish if I just went down that road with you while 999 other people just were waiting for me to come back. So I'm going to answer questions live at the end. Is that clear? All right, cool. Back to the lecture at hand. So watch this, y'all. If all we did was change the sequence, watch what happens to the total down payment, y'all. Watch this. If we put 3.5% down on our multifamily first, look at the total down payment, $10,500. Then after living there for 1 year, which is the FHA requirement, then we put 25% down on our single family, which is actually not required if it's a single family that you're going to live in, but just to keep the numbers consistent, 25% down on that $100,000 property is only $25,000. So now the total down payments for the same 2 properties is only $35,000. The same 2 properties you now control for half the money. Did y'all catch that? All we did was change the sequence. The numbers don't lie. There's no magic tricks here, family. All we did was change the sequence. All we did was get off the American dream. And you can see how much easier it is for you to acquire multiple properties than for you to get your single family first and then try to buy multifamily. Literally half the money, $43,000 difference, okay? It would take some of you 4 years to save up an additional $43,000. I literally just saved you 4 years if you're able to save $1,000 a month, okay? So this is the key to knowing the play to run. So this is how we would use FHA. So basically, for those of you who are renting, right now you're renting, you're paying $1,000 a month. The landlord takes that $1,000, that $4,000, okay? They pay their $2,000 mortgage. They pocket the other $2,000 and they use that for their single family home or for their lifestyle, right? And so now what you want to do is you want to acquire a fourplex, right? Or a triplex like I did in Brooklyn. Now you're living in this unit for free, right? You're receiving $3,000 in rent, right? You're receiving $3,000 in rent from the other units. But guess what? On top of that, you're no longer paying rent anymore. So that's actually $4,000 in your pocket. So you now take that, you live here for 1 year, okay, which is the FHA requirement. Then you go buy, you pay your mortgage of $2,000. Then you go buy the single family home that you desire. Now you move a tenant into the unit that you are in. Now you're receiving $4,000 from this property, right? Plus the $1,000 from no longer paying rent anymore. And now you pay the $2,000 mortgage over here and the $2,000 mortgage over here. Now you have two properties, a fourplex and a single family. And you went from paying negative $1,000 in rent every single month to now having two properties, a fourplex plus your single family, and an additional $1,000 in your pocket every single month. And literally this can happen in under 2 years if you lock in and get focused. You can get your rent and mortgage freedom in 3 months if you lock in. But then after fulfilling the 1 year FHA requirement, then in about 15 months or more, you can actually have the single family that you desire and you're not even paying for it. So you went from paying negative $1,000 every single month and having nothing to show for it to now having two properties, a fourplex and the single family that you desire, plus $1,000 in your pocket. Positive cash flow. Are y'all grasping this? Okay. So most people, after they get their first multifamily home, they're like, I want to get my single family home now. Matt and I say, no, not yet. I didn't buy my first single family home until I had 20 doors. We encourage you not to buy your first single family home until you have 10 doors, okay? And so, did you know that you can use FHA twice? Did you know that you could use FHA twice? You can use FHA multiple times. I can use FHA twice? How, Sway? How, Sway? Yes, you can, right? So instead of buying a single family, we actually want you to go buy a triplex, okay? After the fourplex, and then a duplex, and then your single family. This is the 4-3-2-1 strategy, okay? And the reason why is that a lender, if you go from a single family and then you tell them that you're gonna buy a triplex, they see that as a downgrade and they don't believe you. They don't believe you. Why would you do that? You're just trying to use the FHA program to get over on us and to acquire an investment property. We don't believe that that's what you're really going to do. And so we're not going to lend to you. But if you were going from a fourplex down to a triplex, or a triplex down to a duplex, or a duplex down to a single family home, they see that as an upgrade to your life. Now, this is an upgrade from a wealth standpoint, but from the lender's perception and the FHA guidelines perception, they see this as a downgrade. So it becomes very difficult for you to get financed for a multifamily home that is greater, it has more doors than the one you're currently living in. Okay? So all my single family buyers, if you feel you messed up, type messed up. I'm not doing this to shame you. I'm doing this to educate all the renters that are here. Renters, just look at the chat real quick. Renters, look at the chat real quick. I hope y'all are seeing this. You got about 60 single family buyers who are telling you anonymously that they messed up. Do not follow in my footsteps. Now, some of y'all gonna be hard-headed, you're gonna do what you do anyways. I wish you the best. But you literally have 60 or 70 single family buyers saying, do not do what I did. Renters, are you seeing this? Renters, are you seeing this? Okay. Now, again, for those of you who bought single family homes, you're not stuck unless you choose to be. There are 6 ways to reverse yourself out of the situation. Only 2 of them require you to sell. And there are 5 ways to use FHA twice. Okay. So how do I use FHA twice? Here are some of the strategies. 1, relocation. They have a 100-mile rule. If you move over 100 miles away from your current property, you can use FHA again. If you increase in family size and the single family that you bought no longer fits or suits your family, you can use FHA again. If you are vacating a jointly owned property due to divorce or something like that, you can use FHA again. If you are non-occupying co-borrower, meaning that you bought a home for an aging parent or something like that, then guess what? You can use FHA again. Okay. So these are some of the strategies within the guidelines that allow you to use FHA another time. All right. So you are not stuck unless you choose to be. All right. So FHA will not insure more than 1 property as a principal residence for a borrower, except as noted below. FHA will not insure a mortgage if it is determined that the transaction was designed to use FHA mortgage insurance as a vehicle for obtaining investment properties, even if the property to be insured will be only one owned using FHA mortgage insurance. The property must be owner occupied for at least a year. So when you are talking to a lender, family, never, ever, 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 ever use the word investor or investment. Never use the word investment property when you are trying to get an FHA mortgage. Don't use it. Okay? Don't use it. All right? So that is strategy 1. Strategy 2 is NACA. And yes, you see that correctly. NACA is 0% down. 0, as in 0. It don't really get lower than that. People like, Julian, can I get a house for free somewhere? No, there's no free houses, but 0% down is as close as you can get. There's still closing costs, but 0% down is as close as it gets to free. Okay. And NACA is for first-time home buyers only. It is not for investors who are trying to get a second property. Okay. And so NACA has no down payment, no closing costs, no points or fees, no credit score consideration whatsoever. See, your intellectual property, what you know, is the reason why you don't have physical property. Your intellectual property can get you physical property, but many of you just don't know enough. This is why you're here right now. Okay. And so NACA is a very powerful program. No down payment, no closing costs, no points or fees, right? And no credit score consideration. All right. Marlise said, I paid $9,000 in closing costs with NACA, but Marlise did that because she was buying down her interest rate. She didn't have to buy down her interest rate. She could have accepted the standard interest rate that they had, but she decided to buy it down. And so she has a 1.375 interest rate, which is basically free money. Okay. So the website is NACA.com. NACA.com. Okay. NACA.com. So your excuse of I can't afford it, I've literally wiped that clean. I never want to hear that from you again. I've literally given you a 0% down program. You want somebody to pay you to buy a property? What do you want from there? What else can I give you besides that? Okay. So if you want to see what this looks like, this is Gloria. Gloria said, I closed on my first triplex July 1st in Philadelphia through NACA. I was approved for 480 with 1.5% interest, asking price 520, offered 510. Seller paid 2% closing costs for me to close on the home, and I walked away only paying title fees. I'm still in disbelief. So if you don't believe this is possible, this is Gloria. She did it. Y'all know how much title fees are? Y'all know how much title fees are, family? She bought a triplex in Philadelphia for title fees. Title fees are the equivalent to a pair of Jordans. Yep, Jamila got it right. Rashida got it right. Title fees are the equivalent to a pair of Jordans. She bought a triplex for a pair of Jordans, family. Title fees are the equivalent of a round trip flight from New York to Los Angeles and back. That's all title fees are. And she got a triplex. So some of y'all out here talking about, oh, I ain't got the money, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Stop lying. Because if I looked at your bank statement over the past 90 days, I could find $400 wasted. Some of y'all blew $200 on dinner this past weekend. Some of y'all blew $200 at Target yesterday. Some of y'all got shoes and clothes in your closet with tags on them that you ain't even worn that's over $200. Now listen to me. Some of y'all got designer clothes with other families' names on them hanging up in a closet that's owned by another family while your family is struggling. You got designer clothes with some Italian family's name on it hanging up in a closet of another family while your family is struggling. You ain't living paycheck to paycheck, you lying. You're not living paycheck to paycheck, you are lying. You are making bad choices. Your priorities are not in order. That's what's really going on. So when you're ready to stop living the lie and talking about the truth, telling the truth about your situation, then we can talk. But as long as you want to stay in your illusion, I can't help you. As long as you want to stay in your illusion that you broke and you ain't got no money, I can't help you. I need you to have an abundance mindset. You know, I drove a 2000 Honda Accord until 2018. I drove a 2000 Honda Accord until 2018. Okay? This was the sacrifice I was willing to make to build my portfolio. Some of y'all are just not ready. Some of y'all got nicer cars than me right now. Some of y'all got nicer clothes than me right now, but you don't own anything. Some of y'all, all y'all own is some clothes, electronics, and some furniture. If I looked at your balance sheet, all you own is some clothes, some electronics, and some furniture. If you died today, there would be nothing to pass on. People don't want your clothes. People don't want your furniture. People don't want your electronics. If you're trying to create regenerational wealth, then you need to buy assets that will be handed out from generation to generation to generation. Instead of no more buying red bottoms when your bank account is bleeding. No more buying Coach bags when you need a life coach. All right? Yeah, straight no chaser. I'm just calling you on your BS. I'm calling you on your BS. We don't have time to play around if we're trying to close the wealth gap. This is tough love. I hope you can tell that I'm coming from a place of love. This is tough love. I'm not trying to put you down. I'm trying to light a fire under your assets. What does this say? This says assets over liabilities. I'm trying to light a fire under your assets. And I don't know why anybody else hasn't done this before. Okay? So this is just how I talk. If you're not ready for it, if you're sensitive, then I'm sorry. Okay? So not only did Gloria do this, the first family that I helped close on a multifamily home was a Roll family, and they closed on a fourplex in Los Angeles, right? Fourplex in Los Angeles using NACA, all right? So that's number 2. Number 3 is Matt and I's other favorite strategy, which is the FHA 203K. The FHA 203K. And this is so powerful because it allows you to buy a property to rehab and get finance for the renovation. So let's say you find an $80,000 property and it needs a $60,000 rehab. That's $140,000. FHA 203K will only charge you 3.5% down on the $140,000, which is only $4,900. And then they will finance you for the other $135,000. And you will get a consultant to help you with the rehab to make sure that it's done properly. So this is the FHA 203K, where you can get into a rehab property and build it out the way that you desire and get finance for the renovation. And what's beautiful about this is that if done properly, if the rehab is done properly, that property won't just be worth $140,000. It will actually appraise at $170,000, meaning that you now also have $30,000 in equity. This is the FHA 203K. Matt and I love this particular loan product, okay? All right. Next is the Home Possible loan for first-time home buyers. And it is very similar to the FHA loan, okay? But with Home Possible, you need a little bit higher credit score, right? And you can cancel your private mortgage insurance, also known as PMI. You can cancel it once the property reaches an 80% loan to value ratio. You cannot cancel it with the FHA loan anymore. It used to come off after 5 years. It no longer comes off after 5 years automatically. So this is the benefit of the Home Possible loan, okay? But minimum down payment is 3%. Your credit score minimum must be 660. You can cancel PMI. Seller assistance can be up to 3%. The loan limits vary by market, and the borrower income limits varies by market. So this is the Home Possible loan. Yes, it's very similar to a conventional loan, okay? Very similar. So what is PMI? PMI is private mortgage insurance, and there's literally just money that's set aside to protect the banks. Now, why the banks need protection, I don't know. The banks are the ones who got bailed out for their poor decisions, right? So it's not the banks that need protection, it's the consumers that need protection. But the government has set up PMI to protect the banks, to prevent the market from crashing again. So basically, PMI, what they'll do is you'll get a percentage based on your credit profile. And if you have a mortgage of $500,000, let's say your PMI is 1%. So that's basically, they'll take 1% a year, which is $5,000, right? And they'll divide that by 12 months. And your PMI will be literally $416 every single month going to the banks to protect them. It's not going against your principal or anything like that. It's literally going to protect the banks. So if we can avoid PMI, we're happy to do so, right? We would love that. But this is literally a mechanism set up to protect the banks. And it's predatory on all consumers who are buying property, but it's just part of the game. And you have to find a deal that's great enough to make sure that it accounts for private mortgage insurance. All right, cool. Next up, strategy 5 is VA loan. Okay, this is for all the veterans that are out there. Yes, you can use your VA loan for multifamily real estate. And yes, you can use your VA loan multiple times. VA loan is one of the best mortgages in the entire country. It's only 0% down, 0% down. Okay, so this is why I love the VA loan. So all my vets out there, thank you for your service. Your eligibility is that you serve 90 days consecutive during the wartime, 181 days of service during peacetime. You have more than 6 years of service in the National Guard or Reserve, or you are the spouse of that particular person, okay? If you fit those requirements, it's 0% down, no PMI, right? For those who sacrificed their life for this country, the government has set up this particular loan product to support them in owning a piece of this country. So that is for the VA loan, all right? So of course, not everybody's eligible for that, but that is a powerful tool if you are a veteran, okay? Strategy 6 is conventional 5% primary, meaning that this is gonna be your primary residence, okay? So what that looks like is you are putting on a $300,000 property, you put 5% down, which is $15,000. Now you're only getting rent from one unit. So instead of $3,200 of rent, you're getting $1,600. The mortgage is $1,259. The taxes and insurance are $335. The CapEx repairs over vacancy rate is $515. Your former rent was $1,200. So the property, right, cash flows at negative $510. So that negative $510 is actually less. $510 going out of your pocket to own this duplex is less than what you were paying in rent of $1,200, okay? So the cash flow is negative because it's a duplex and you're losing $510 a month, but you're losing $510 a month while also controlling this duplex. Whereas right now you're losing $1,200 a month to rent and you own nothing and have nothing to show for it. So your actual cash flow, when you subtract the $510 from the $1,200, is actually $689. And $689 times 12 divided by your initial investment is actually a 55% cash on cash return. So this is 5% down, owner occupied multifamily, all right? Now you will have PMI until you reach 80% loan to value, right? When you use conventional, okay? The next is conventional 20 to 25% down, right? This is for an investment property, meaning that you are not occupying the property. So same property, but look at the numbers. It's different. $300,000, 25% down is $75,000. The rents are $3,200 because you're not living there. Mortgage, taxes, insurance, capex, repairs over vacancy rate are the same. The cash flow is $1,009 every single month. This is my actual property, right? $1,089 times 12 divided by the initial investment of $75,000 plus some closing costs is about a 17% cash on cash return. Okay, so this is what 25% owner occupied looks like. Non-owner occupied, excuse me. 25% down investment, excuse me. And of course, there's no PMI once you have 20% in equity in the property. All right. All right. So finally, actually, two more. I got some bonus ones for you. Bonus one is the BRRRR strategy. This is strategy number 8. Okay. We promised you 6. We're going to give you 9. We promised you 6, but we're going to give you 9. And that is a hard money used for the BRRRR strategy, which is going to be 10% down with experience and 20 to 30% down with no experience. So if you've never done any kind of construction or whatnot, it's going to be a higher down payment for the BRRRR strategy. Okay. So what is the BRRRR strategy? The BRRRR strategy is to buy something that's you're going to rehab, renovate it, rent it out, then refinance to get your money out of the deal, and then repeat the process. Okay. So let me walk you through this. So we buy something at $80,000, right? With a $60,000 renovation budget, right? We have to put down 10% of that, which would, if we're experienced, 10% would be $14,000 to get this hard money loan. Okay. So we get the loan, we finish the construction, and then we start renting this property out at $2,000 per month. It's a duplex, $1,000 per unit. Okay. Once we have leases and show that the property is being rented, then we can go back to the bank and we can get refinanced for $200,000, right? At 70% loan to value. So we'll get refinanced for $140,000. Wait, $140,000, that's how much we put in. So we actually get all of our money out of the deal, right? But guess what? The property's worth $200,000 and we just refinanced at $140,000. So we now have $60,000 in equity with no money in the deal. On top of that, the property is still cash flowing, and then we go do it again. We get our money back out and we go do it again. This is the repeat process. This is the BRRRR strategy, okay? But again, it's 10% down for the acquisition and construction if you're experienced, and it's going to be 20 to 30% down for acquisition and construction if you are inexperienced. All right. So this is the BRRRR strategy. It's a more advanced strategy, but we know that you are here because you want the goods, and so we're giving you, we spilling the tea. We spilling the tea. All right. Now the final strategy, okay, to finance your next deal is actually raising money, raising capital. Okay. So you're like, Jullien, who am I going to raise capital from? Well, there's a lot of people you can raise capital from when you understand how money works. And here's how it works. Did you know that cash is trash, y'all? Cash is actually the lowest yielding asset in the entire world. Cash is the lowest yielding asset in the entire world. Your Bank of America savings account is only yielding 0.01% interest. So cash is actually trash. It is not backed by gold. You can't eat it. You can't drink it. It can't keep you warm. Okay. The only reason we value cash is because it is a liquid. It is liquid, meaning that we can transfer it into other assets easier. Okay. But we don't really value cash. And on top of that, there's inflation. Your cash sitting in your bank account literally lost 6 to 10% of its value last year because they were printing so much of it. All right. So if we know that cash is trash and that people are actually losing money and their money is spoiling when they leave it in a bank account, then what does that mean? That means that if you can actually present them with an opportunity that's going to yield a higher interest rate than what they're getting in their Bank of America account and not allow them to lose their money due to the inflation, then guess what? They will happily give you their money. If you can present an opportunity where they're going to get a 12% return versus them keeping their money and losing 6 to 10% due to inflation, then guess what? They will happily give you their money. All it is understanding yield, okay? And so if you are able to go out and find a deal and run the numbers and get a 12%, find a deal that's going to yield a 12% return, then guess what? There's going to be many people lined up to hand you over their money, right? Because guess what? You are now the plug. You are the plug. And there's only so many outlets. And so the plug can only receive so much money for this deal. And so people are going to have to act if they believe in the analysis and the deal that you brought to the table. And so how this typically works is that you bring in the investors and you take a 10, 20, or 30% stake in that deal, no money in by you, or you can put money in, skin in the game to show them that you're serious as well, right? That you have some skin in the game. And this is how you run your next play, is you actually raise money by becoming the plug, by finding deals. I told you, money is not the issue. People are looking for ways to give away their money every single day. Some of y'all got an Amazon tab open on your computer right now. People are actively looking for ways to get rid of money every single day because people don't value money. We don't value money. If we valued money, we would have earned it and we would just store it all. We just have rooms of money, but we don't want money. We actually want what we believe money can get us. And if you can help somebody get more of what they want, then guess what? They will happily give you their money. This requires a deep understanding of money and you standing in your power and knowledge of real estate. But if you can do that, then there's opportunity for you, okay? So I want to just ask you, what do you think would happen if you just bought one property every single year for the rest of your life? What do you think would happen if you just bought one single property every year for the rest of your life? I want to show you something. If you bought one duplex every single year, let's take Jessica Lindsay. Jessica, tell me how old you are. I know I shouldn't ask a lady's age, but it's kind of anonymous. How old are you, Jessica? Jessica, hold on. Nobody else type real quick. Jessica's 34. And Jessica, when do you think, how long did your grandma live? How long did your grandma live? How old is your grandma, Jessica? Her grandma's 91 years old. So watch this. So Jessica's 34, and let's say she lives as long as her grandma, and that means she buys 57 rental properties over the remainder of her life. And if she buys duplexes, right, that's actually 114 doors. And 114 doors cash flowing at $300 per door is $34,000 per month in rent, or $410,000 passively every single year that she's going to be able to pass on to the next generation. Now, let me get somebody, let's say, okay, that's a long-term game, Jullien, 57 years. Okay, let's just say Jessica did that until she was 44, right? Let's just say she did it for 10 years, right? And she was buying triplexes instead, right? Total doors would be 30 doors over 10 years. I'm at 38 doors, right? In 8 years. That's $300 per door. That's $9,000 per month in positive cash flow. That's 6 figures per year in passive income for the rest of her life and for the rest of her children's life, if she just locked in and did this for 10 years. Okay? This is the name of the game. It's to create passive income, family. This is just your passive income. You could still go out there and make active income if you want to, right? But this is just your passive income. So this is the name of the game, right? And this is what Matt and I want to encourage you to do. Matt was having some issues, and so sorry. He says he's sorry he couldn't be here. But as I told you, we're in this together. That's my brother. I know what he knows. He knows what I know, right? And so I was able to bring it home for you all. So imagine if you would have played the long-term game a long time ago, you'd be a lot further along today. So our encouragement is that you stop chasing get-rich-quick schemes, and instead you buy multifamily real estate, right? This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is a get-rich guaranteed system over time. And if you play the long-term game, you can make sure that not only you, but your family is wealthy forever, all right? So with that, I'm gonna answer questions in just a second. Matt and I have a program called the 4321 strategy. where we not only teach you how to execute all of these ways of getting finance, but also how to analyze real estate deals, how to find real estate deals, and how to get those real estate deals to the closing table. And so I want to share that opportunity with you for those of you who want mentorship, for those of you who want to close on more properties in 2022. For some of you, it's going to be your first property. For some of you, you'll be closing on your third or fourth property. But if you are serious about building your real estate portfolio, Matt and I are trying to help 300 people close in this year alone. And we want to invite you to be part of that. So if you are open to it, do I have permission to share this opportunity with you? Do I have permission to share this opportunity with you? Okay, appreciate that. Appreciate that. All right, cool. So as we shared before, Matt and I have many people who we have helped close together. I've done the education process in terms of helping people learn how to find deals, how to analyze those deals, right? And then how to build their real estate Rolodex, how to identify the 33 signs of gentrification, how to know what the 23 numbers are that you need to evaluate a deal. And then Matt is the one who helps them get to the closing table with the financing part of the equation, all right? So the first hurdle that you have is money. Can I afford it, right? And so Matt has a program called the Home Buyer's Blueprint. And in this program, he teaches how to get financed for the best terms, whether it is your first, second, third, or fourth purchase, the keys to financing and getting your money out of deals so that you can keep on investing, and how to execute FHA 203K loans so that you can step into equity in a newly renovated home, okay? So that program by itself is normally $1,000, okay? This is what Cendrika and Sandy said. Sandy said, I now have 3 pre-approval letters, one for 500, one for 415. And this morning I got a VA for 700. For the newbies in this group, do not skip steps. I will leverage these to get the best rate. And of course, the VA loan is my first choice. So you see the variance in the pre-approvals that Sandy got, as low as 415 and as high as 700. So then you have to know how to make those lenders to compete for your business, all right? Then Cendrika said, a couple of lenders tried the okie doke on me, specifically with leaving out prepaid costs, offering more money and lowering the rate, but doubling all other fees. So the lowest interest rate does not mean the best terms on a loan. And you have to know that. There are a lot of predatory lenders out here, right? But when you go to Matt or Brandy to get finance, right, then that will ensure that you are dealing with somebody who has ethics and is actually working on your behalf, all right? So that's the Home Buyer's Blueprint. The next obstacle is finding a market, right? And that's where my teaching comes in finding the deals. So with the multifamily master plan, I'll show you how to use the 23 numbers to analyze real estate deals anywhere and make sure that you buy right. This is a detailed analysis, and I'll walk you through that in just a second. Then I'm going to show you how to build your real estate Rolodex of agents, lenders, and contractors to find off-market deals. And then I'll show you how to identify the 33 signs of gentrification so that your homes have maximum appreciation potential. The multifamily master plan by itself typically costs $2,497. Now, in each module, module 1 is finance it, then we go into find it, then finalize it, fix it, and fill it. So I teach you step by step how to build your real estate portfolio in the exact same way that I've done in less than 10 years, okay? So from there, every single week you have a brand new challenge. So this is not just an online course. Every single week you have a brand new challenge. So we start with our financial house cleaning challenge, then our lender shopping challenge, then the pre-approval challenge, then the real estate agent challenge, then the neighborhood knowledge challenge #1, and the deal of day challenge #1. Then you go into your real estate team building challenge, and you do each challenge, the new neighborhood and the deal of day challenge, over and over and over again until you close on your first property or your next property, okay? So this is the program front to back. This is the actual curriculum. Every single week, you're gonna get your mindset modules, then you're gonna get your movement modules. So be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind first, right? Then we go take action. So this is the program in detail. Every single module is designed to make you money or save you money. There's no fat in this program whatsoever. It is the fastest path that I was able to create to get you to understand multifamily real estate at the level that I understand it. So if you want to join, you can go to get4321, get4321.com, get4321.com. If you are ready to join the program, all the details are there, okay? Now, every single week we have our weekly deal room calls, and I know that there's some family members that are here I saw, who did I see up there before? I see Michael is up there. Every week we have our weekly deal room calls. And on our weekly deal room calls, this is where you can get coached by me. Yes, you can get coached by me personally. You can sign up to be in the hot seat and I will coach you live in front of the family. Okay. So this is the closest you're going to be able to get to one-on-one coaching. Ask yourself, who can you go to ask real estate questions right now? Is there anybody in your phone that you can go to ask real estate questions right now? No. Okay. And so this is your opportunity to be coached by me to make sure that you are making the right decisions on your calls. What's going on, Crystal? What's going on, Simone? I got family members that are here right now, just showing love. Rosa, I see you. Okay. Carmala, what's going on? So D Sanders, I see you. So multifamily movement is in the building. It's good to see you all. This is family, right? We are a tight-knit family, okay? And so in addition to that, you're gonna get the purchase or pass deal analyzer, all right? This is the financial model that I use to evaluate every single deal that I do, okay? There are 23 numbers that you need to know. If you leave out one single number, you can step into a bad deal. When you're buying a single family home, it's how much did we get approved for? 400,000. How much is the home? 390. Do we like it? It's 3 factors. But when you're buying multifamily real estate, there's actually 23 numbers that you need to know to evaluate a multifamily real estate deal effectively. Okay. And so this is the purchase or pass deal analyzer. I will not only give you this tool, but I also teach you what those 23 numbers are, where to find them, how to find them quickly, and how to evaluate. The purchase or pass deal analyzer right here will tell you what the cash on cash return is. And it will tell you whether you should purchase or pass on the deal. I see Maddie in here, Levon. What's going on, y'all? Y'all representing. I love it. I love it. I love it. Cool. You will also get the multifamily movement real estate investor workbook. This is your real estate Bible. This is what you will keep with you. This is what you will keep with you in your car, in your purse, in your backpack, in your briefcase. This is a workbook, 64 worksheets. All of my tools that I use. So for instance, this is the property value assessment, and it is the 40 hidden value signs of hidden value and the 30 signs of hidden cost that we look for as multifamily real estate investors when we go into a property. We're not looking for granite countertops. We're not looking for stainless steel appliances. We're looking for hidden value and hidden cost. And so that is the multifamily real estate investor workbook, and you will get that when you join. Okay. Then after that, it's how do I scale up, right? And how do I free my family? And the way you do that is through scale. And so in Matthew's other program, the Home Buyer Blueprint Volume 2, we're going to show you how to hire the right team to successfully navigate the rehab process, how to use 203K loans, the home style rehab loan, and hard money and construction loans. And he's also going to have monthly webinars. He also has monthly webinars with private lenders breaking down their products and more. So that is what you will use to scale your portfolio. So for those of you who don't believe that this is possible for you, I want to show you something, okay? This is one of my best students, Jimmy. Jimmy has closed on 21 doors in a year and a half. He says, thanks to Jullien, our goal was 50 doors and we're halfway there in 1.4 years, controlling over $1.9 million of real estate. Didn't need an MBA to get to the next million. In 1.5 years, Jimmy and Candace have closed on 21 doors and $1.9 million of real estate. 1.5 years, family. 1.5 years. And if you think that that's amazing, Julius closed on 28 doors in 7 months. Fast forward in a few days, my wife will turn 40 years old, and we've closed on 8 real estate deals worth $2.65 million. Actually, we've closed on 2 deals so far in August, making it a special birthday present. And for those of you who have all kinds of excuses, guess what? Julian and his wife are not even US citizens yet. Yet they provide quality, affordable housing to 17 American families. See, we as Americans, we started resting on our laurels, thinking we're the best country. We're actually not the best country. There's a lot of good here, but if you look at statistically where our kids are in math, where we are in terms of incarceration, all those kind of things, health, we aren't doing that well. And so we have Julius and his wife, who are not even US citizens, actually coming here and buying multifamily real estate in America and then providing housing to Americans. Okay? Any excuse you have when it comes to this process, I have a way above it, through it, or around it, with the exception of chronic unemployment. If you were happily unemployed and you like receiving a small check every single month, then I cannot help you, okay? I cannot help somebody with victim consciousness or poverty consciousness. But any other excuse you have, even bankruptcy, Matt and I can help you get to the closing room, okay? So the route to the success is, one, you're gonna get educated. You're gonna get the multifamily master plan, the Home Buyers Blueprint Volume 1, and the Home Buyers Blueprint Volume 2. All the details are at get4321.com. All of the details are at get4321.com, all right? Then you're gonna get paired with a lender. That lender is likely gonna be Matt or Brandy, okay? These are two of the best mortgage brokers in the entire country. They finance all over, okay? And you now know that you're not dealing with a predatory lender who's trying to get over on you. This is Matt and his team down here right now, okay? Then we have step 3 is that we have a network of certified real estate agents, people who I've educated, real estate agents who I've educated, right, on how to evaluate multifamily real estate deals and know the difference between a real estate listing and a real estate deal. This is huge. You do not want to work with your cousin who just got their license yesterday. Okay, anybody can go get their real estate license in about 30 days. That does not make them qualified to teach you how to build wealth. But with multifamily movement certified agents, you will know that you are working with an agent who understands the difference between a real estate deal and a real estate listing. We are not looking for real estate listings. We're looking for real estate deals. And then finally, we have our online technology where we share off-market deals with one another called the Purchase or Pass Deal Analyzer. I spent over 5 figures and invested in this technology where we build as a community, all right? And so this is the power of what we are teaching. This is a movement in real life. This is 200 of us in New Orleans for our Generational Wealth Conference. This is our conference that happens every single year. You will get a ticket to that conference to learn how all my wealth building strategies beyond just real estate, as well as go deeper into other aspects of real estate like commercial real estate, Airbnb, et cetera. So everything that Matt and I put together for you is worth $8,496. And you can join now at get4321.com. Right now, Matt and I and the EYL family, we are only looking for 100 people to join this program. And there were over 1,000 of you on this webinar. There's about 800 of you here right now. We're only looking for 100 people in this particular cohort, right? And so if you are ready to do this, then go ahead and go to get4321.com to join. Okay, so here are your options. Option number 1 to join is actually going to feel free, but it's going to cost you the most, and that's you do nothing. It's you do nothing. And while you do nothing, rents are going to continue to rise, which makes it harder for you to save, and prices will continue to rise, which makes it harder for you to buy. So that's option number 1. And April 1st is right around the corner. And if you continue to do nothing, rent is going to continue to be due month after month after month. And there's nothing you can do to stop it except for buy multifamily real estate. There's no other way around your housing expense except to buy multifamily real estate. And so that is what Matt and I are here to teach you. So with that, this program is actually $2,997. For most of you, that's equivalent to 1 to 2 months of rent or mortgage expense. And literally, that's all we're asking for is 1 to 2 months of rent or mortgage expense to put you in position to never have to pay rent or mortgage expense ever again. I have 292 documented examples of people who no longer have a housing expense for the rest of their life because of what Matt and I are bringing to the table for you right now, if you join this particular program. 292 examples. So I know that this is possible for you. The question is, do you believe in yourself? And so normally this program would be this, but for right now, what Matt and I are going to do is we're actually going to take off the $2,997, and you can actually join right now for $2,497. You can join for just $2,497. Okay. The first 25 people will be able to get access to the program for $2,497. After that, it will go up to $2,997. First 25 people. It's a little fast action bonus for those who are serious and really want to make this happen. We have 9 months left in the year. I know that of the 100 people who join, I believe that half of you will be able to close within this year, and the other half will be able to close within the next year and a half. Okay? If you come in, you follow the Home Buyers Blueprint 1, right? You follow the multifamily master plan to a T. You do not skip steps. You will be able to close. And Then once you close on your first property, then you go to the Home Buyer Blueprint Volume 2 and you learn how to build your portfolio, okay? So again, that's get4321.com. First 25 people can join for $2,500. After that, it's gonna go up to $2,997, all right? So some of you believe that this is expensive, and my question to you is, what's more expensive? $1,000, $2,497 now, or $1,400 in rent over the next year? What's more expensive, $2,497 today, or $72,000 worth of rent over the next 5 years? What's more expensive, $2,497 now, or $144,000 over the next 10 years? If I simply asked you to add up all the money that you spent in rent or mortgage interest since you've been quote unquote living on your own, how much would that be? In fact, yes, it's lifetime. It's lifetime. In fact, let me know in chat, how much are you paying rent or mortgage right now? I see quite a few people joining. I want to celebrate those folks. If you join, please let me know in chat. I see 700, 1,300, 3,000, 1,500. I saw some zeros. I don't know if people living on the streets or they living at their mama's house. 1995, 1,800, 1,350, 900, 3,200, 1,200, 1,500, 1,500, 2,300, 928, 1,400, 2,500, 1,500, 1,041, 2,800. You are just going to keep paying that for the rest of your life? If this is not the pathway for you, can you please let me know in chat what is going to be your pathway to get rid of your housing expense? If you're not going to join Get 4321, please let me know what are you going to do to get rid of your housing expense. Please just let me know what the game plan is other than this. Sean Bell on 32 doors. Proud of you, family. Proud of you, family. Paris, if your home is paid off, we actually want to refinance while these interest rates are low and use the equity. Right now, you have money that's stuck in the walls of your home that's just sitting there, okay? We actually want to use that to build your portfolio, all right? So again, that's get4321.com. Now, for those of you who don't have $2,497, that's a red flag, right? That's a red flag. Something is broken in your financial system, and the easiest way to fix your financial system is to get rid of your biggest expense, which is housing. So if we literally just do this one thing, it would literally change your world around. In fact, earlier on, you all typed, getting rid of my housing expense would change everything for me, okay? And so that's what this focus is, to change everything, all right? Now, if you do not have $2,497, you can't take advantage of the savings of $1,495. When you do the one pay, you get access to everything immediately, okay? And you save $1,495. But for those of you who need a payment plan, you can join on the payment plan of $499 per month for just 8 months. This is not some payment plan that goes on forever and I hope you forget. No, that's not how we operate. It's 8 months, and after that, you're done. You have lifetime access to the programs, all right? But in fact, for right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take off an additional payment. We're gonna take off an additional payment, okay? And so you can actually join for $499 per month for just 7 months. $499 a month for just 7 months, all right? And so, again, that's get4321.com. That's get4321.com. With the one pay, you save $1,495. But if you need to do the $499 per month payment plan, then go ahead and do that. You also get to bring a buddy into the program for free. You also get to bring a buddy into the program for free. That buddy includes your best friend, spouse, or homie, blood, which is sibling, parents, or kids, or a business partner who you're going to invest with, okay? Why would we do that? Because we know that you will have a higher degree of accountability and a greater chance of success when there's somebody around you who also wants this, who says, let's go do module 5 this weekend. Let's go look at these 3 properties today, right? And so we are allowing you to bring a buddy into the program for free, and all the instructions to add your buddy to your account is in orientation, okay? So many of you are sitting at home alone right now. You're watching this webinar alone. How many of you are watching this webinar alone right now? How many of you are watching this webinar alone right now? Somebody said Dolo. Has it ever crossed your mind that the reason that you haven't achieved everything that you desire is because you've been trying to do everything by yourself? The problem with personal development is that it's personal. But when you look at the world's most successful people, all of the world's most successful people move in packs. But here you are trying to be the exception to the rule. I'm just going to do it on my own. I'm going to pick up myself by my own bootstraps. Well, guess what? Somebody had to make the bootstraps, so you still are not alone. With the multifamily movement, you now get to be part of a family of people who are committed to creating regenerational wealth and entering into what we call the asset class. There's the lower class, the middle class, the upper class, which are highly paid people, but it's all active income. And the only true group of people that's truly free is above them, which is the asset class. And that is what we're aspiring to be. Can everybody type asset class? That's new language. I created that language and I want everybody to type that in, asset class. That is the new aspiration. I'm not trying to be middle class. Who wants to be in the middle? I'm not trying to be upper class, just having good active income. I want to be part of the asset class where I am 100% free. And the best way I know to do that at this moment in time is multifamily real estate. All right. So if you signed up, please let me know in chat so I can give you some love. If you signed up, please let me know in chat so I can give you some love. Melissa, welcome to the family. Happy to have you. If you join, let me know in chat. Rashida said almost done. Joseph, welcome to the family. Preet, welcome to the family. Owen, welcome to the family. Let's share. Yes, you can bring your 10-year-old. We love having the young ones with us. Okay. Milton, welcome to the family. Mr. says signing up tomorrow. Michael, already in the game. Aida, welcome to the family. Happy to have you. Good. Wida, okay. Pleasure to meet you. For those of you who have PayPal, you can use PayPal credit. PayPal credit is no interest for 6 months, but only we don't want you to buy this on a credit card. We don't want you to increase your liabilities. But PayPal credit is no interest for 6 months. So if you know that you have a tax return or a lump sum come in within 6 months, you can go ahead and take advantage of the one pay discount of $14.95 and use PayPal credit and then just pay off that balance when the lump sum that you have, whether it's your birthday, bonus or whatever, come in. All right. All right. So with that, there are a few more bonuses that we have, and I'm going to answer questions live in just a second. I'm going to give you Tanya Rapley's credit etiquette course. This will help you boost your credit score by 50 to 150 points. For those you want to get your interest rate down, if your credit score is totally shot, then you typically going to want to go with NACA because NACA does not take credit into account when financing you, okay? So you do not need great credit if you're going to go through NACA. I'm also going to give you my REI Tax Secrets program, which is how to reduce your tax liability using multifamily real estate in the tax code. I showed you how one multifamily property is going to literally save me $278,000 in taxes over 30 years, right? You do not need an LLC. You just need to do your accounting properly, okay? I'm going to answer questions in just a second, family, okay? I'm also going to give you my Airbnb overnight success course, which is how I built a 6-figure Airbnb business. So if you decide to get a fourplex and you do Airbnb 2 units, rent out 1 unit and live in the other, this could be a great business model for you. In fact, April, she is earning over $10,000 a month off of her first 4 unit in Virginia Beach because she Airbnb'd all 3 units. And she just sent me her resignation letter for her job. So shout outs to April on running the play off of 2 properties. She got this property, another one, and then quit her job. All right. So this is real life stuff. These are real human beings, real stories, family. Okay. I'm also going to give you the Purchase or Pass Deal Analyzer online version. Okay. This is a technology that I've invested in and built for my community alone. With the Purchase or Pass Deal Analyzer, this is where we share off-market deals with one another. All right. We share off-market deals with one another. And this is where we connect with people in our market. These are the beautiful people in the Orlando market. We also share our real estate Rolodexes with each other, the best agents in our markets, the best lenders in our markets, the best inspectors, insurance companies, general contractors, et cetera. All that data is collected in the Purchase or Pass Deal Analyzer, okay? We also meet in groups called market meetups all across the country. So you see St. Louis here, you see Baton Rouge, the Bay Area, Atlanta, Dallas, Brooklyn, New Jersey. We connect in real life. These are real life meetups. So you're literally plugging into a real family. If you feel alone on this journey, then this is your opportunity to plug into a real family instead of trying to lift up your friends or your family members who don't get it at this moment in time. You get to join a group of people who is already elevated and you get to rise to the occasion, right? Then we're also going to give you the Fuel It module, which shows you how to scale up your portfolio, especially for those of you who already have a single family with equity. We want to show you how to build that portfolio up. All right. So, and then you all get a ticket to Generational Wealth Conference, which is basically our family reunion. When we come together for 2 days, it'll be free for you. Okay. It'll be free for you. And you get to come to Generational Wealth Conference. And on day one, we do all of my wealth building strategies beyond real estate, whether that's stock market investing, cryptocurrency, whole life insurance, and on day two, we do other aspects of real estate, whether that's Airbnb, rehabs, new construction, and commercial real estate. Okay. So everything here, including the bonuses, would be over $11,000. You can join right now for $2,497. We're only looking for 100 people right now. There are over 1,000 people on this webinar. There's actually 670 people still here right now, based on some of the people who already let me know that they joined. Actually, let me check my phone real quick. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It looks like 25 people are already in. Remember, I think it's about 25. Remember, the 2,497 will be for the first 25 people who do the full pay, right? So I think there's some of those left if you are ready to go. So don't procrastinate, don't hesitate, and don't wait. All right. So literally, you were just one deal away. This is my first deal in Brooklyn, New York. It literally changed the financial trajectory of my life. This was the first domino. And when you buy your first multifamily home, the moment you do that, and you collect that first rent check, you're gonna want to buy another one and another one and another one. And this is how my wealth got built over the past 8 years. Literally, I've been able to build $180,000 in passive income, right, in less than a decade, right? All through multifamily real estate. So you're going to start the program. Stefanos, welcome to the family. I see you. Jeffrey, welcome to the family. I see you. Richard, welcome to the family. Happy to have you. All right. So you're going to get onboarded. You're going to get your deal analyzer, start the online course, go through orientation. We'll have our weekly Zoom call on Sunday. You'll get emails about Matt's call. Then we'll have our first challenge. You'll start your first challenge on Monday. Right now, the price is $499 per month for 7 months, or $2,497 one-time lifetime for the first 25 people. After that, it's going to go up to $2,997 or back to an 8-pay. So if you're ready to go ahead and go to get4321.com. Again, that's get4321.com. You have until Saturday. You have till Saturday. When do y'all get paid? When do y'all get paid? Y'all getting paid on Friday? When's the 1st? When's the 1st? Yes, the 1st is Friday. So I know some of you are gonna have to wait till Friday till your paycheck comes in, and that's totally understandable. So go ahead and if that you have to wait till that hits, then you have till Saturday. You have until Saturday to join, right? So you'll see a timer on that page at get4321.com. And you want to make sure you join before that timer expires. We have class on Sunday, and we want you to be done with orientation by Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay. So my question to you is, what are you waiting for? You know, you wanted to buy real estate for 3, 5, 10, 15 years now, and waiting is not going to help you. Prices are going to continue to rise, and it's going to make it harder and harder and harder for you to get in the game the more you hesitate, procrastinate, and wait. If you think interest rate increases are bad, well, guess what? Here's where we are in terms of the past, what is this? 47 years of interest rate. We're still down here. So even if the Fed increases the interest rate by 0.25%, that's still insignificant in comparison to what interest rates were in the 1980s. I wouldn't be in the game of real estate if my interest rate was 18.63%. I would not be buying real estate. I'd be in a different asset class. So we are still experiencing all-time lows in terms of mortgage interest rates, and you want to get in before the interest rates rise anymore, all right? Because here's what a 1% increase in interest will do for you, or not do against you. So if you're able to close on a property at 3% interest rate, that's going to be $165,000 in interest, okay? If you allow the interest rate to increase by 1% to 4%, that's going to increase your interest to $226,000. That's literally $60,000 more for the same exact property, all because you procrastinated and hesitated. This program is only $2,497. If we can literally just get you in the game before the interest rate increases, you've already saved and got a huge ROI on your investment. All right. So with that, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. This has been an absolute pleasure to teach you. Matt texted me and he apologizes for not being able to make it. He has some travel issues and then he has some technology issues. That's my brother. His mind is my mind. We are one. And I was able to bring it all the way home for you. And now I'm trying to get you a home if you will allow us to. Okay. So with that, I want to take questions now. I'll probably take about 10 or 15 questions. I know there were tons of them in chat. I want you to use the Q&A function though. Please do not ask your questions in chat. Please use the Q&A function and I will answer them there in order, okay? Thank you, I appreciate that, Rodney. So Rashida, the conference is in January. It is every January, typically on MLK weekend, all right? That's when the conference is. What softwares do I use for property management? I use Tenant Cloud or Cozy. Do you have a property manager? Yes, I have a property manager. Property managers typically take 6 to 10% of rents. So if your rents on a property are $4,000 per month, a property manager will take anywhere from $240 to $400 per month as their fee for managing that property for you, okay? What if I'm self-employed? Self-employed is okay, as long as you're making decent income and that it's consistent. For those who are self-employed, remember, I got financed for my first deal self-employed. So for those who are self-employed, I encourage you to, one, start paying yourself out of your business bi-weekly. So now you have income and your business has income. When you are going for financing, you'll show both of those to the lender, right? And if as long as you own 100% of the business, the lender will take that income into account, right? The business income. And if you are in a cash-based business and you do a lot of write-offs to avoid taxes, there is something called a bank statement loan, which is going to typically be a higher down payment and a higher interest rate, but is a great option still if you are self-employed, okay? How can I join? How can I become a certified real estate agent in your program? So one, you have to complete the course. Once you complete the course, you will take a test. And from there, you can get licensed to serve all of our students in that market and benefit from the commissions, all because you join the community, you learn the methodology, and now you get to access that network, okay? Next question. If you are married, can you and your spouse reap the benefits of first-time home buyership if we were to buy separately? Melissa, it all depends on if you're in a community property state. If you're in a community property state. If you're in a community property state, that debt is going to reflect on both of you. And if you're not, then yes, there are ways to run the play, but there are specific language patterns that you have to use with the lenders in order to be able to get financed separately if you are already married, okay? Deanna, PA, please bring your questions over into, and Juan, bring your questions over into the Q&A function. There's 72 questions there. I'm answering them in order in the Q&A function. You'll see Q&A at the bottom of your webinar screen, okay? Are you going to post a PowerPoint and allow access after this live Zoom? Yes, I will post a replay up. I'll post a replay up so that you can see it. So if you want to share this with your buddy or whatnot before you join, you can do that. But again, we're only looking for 100 people and that 249. In fact, what I'll do is, because it looks like we're already at 25 people. So what I'll do is, let me change this really quickly. I'll allow the $2,497 or the 7-pay to go until, I'll allow it to go until midnight. So let me change this really quickly. 1 second. All right, so since we already are at 25 people, I will allow the $2,497 to go until midnight. So it won't just be the first 25 people, it'll be until midnight. So take advantage of that before the clock strikes 12, okay? Michael, what's going on, Michael? I'm a retired vet who hasn't used my VA loan. What is your advice for building a fourplex? Michael, you can use 203K loan for new construction, but I honestly don't encourage you to use to try new construction for your first purchase, brother. I don't encourage you to do that for your first purchase. I encourage you to get your feet wet with an existing property And then from there, once you've built up equity and got a feel for it, then go into then consider new construction. That's a completely different play, completely different financing process. Your VA loan, I do not think will position you for new construction unless if you're leading it. If you found a builder who is doing a new construction, normally builders doing new constructions for single family homes. I don't know if you're going to be able to find a builder who's going to be doing a new construction for a fourplex. So that's a harder play to run, brother. Okay. Cool. Next question. That's a repeat. If you already have a single family home and not looking to move, what's the best way to get started? So Raquel, the best way for you is going to be to find a smaller, less expensive, non-sexy market where 25% down makes sense. So for me, that was New Orleans, and then it became Baton Rouge. So in Baton Rouge, I purchased properties for $25,000, put in $15,000 to them, 40,000 in, but they're worth 60 now, and they cash flow like crazy. So this is how you expand your portfolio. Your money does not have to work in the same city as you do, right? Your money does not have to work in the same city as you do, right? You own Amazon stock, never been to Seattle. You own Nike stock, never been to Oregon, okay? So your money does not have to work in the same city as you do. And once you understand real estate at the level that Matt and I teach it, it actually opens up the entire country to you, and you're not just limited by the city that you live in. I still see tons of questions coming in through chat. Please, everybody, use the Q&A function. Use the Q&A function. We're over 100 questions now, so I'm going to continue to answer them in order. If I have not gotten to your question, it's not personal. There's 100 questions, family. I'm going through them one by one. I'm trying to eliminate duplicates. It is not personal if I have not seen your question. All right, Kay? How do you control debt to income when using this strategy? So Holden, that's a great question. So when you buy right, using the criteria that Matt and I lay out for you, your debt to income ratio should actually improve with every single purchase. It should get better, because while you're adding on debt, which is going to be the mortgage, your income when you bought right should actually be should improve your debt to income ratio with every single purchase. My debt to income ratio has gotten better and better and better because as my eyes get better and better and better, I'm finding better and better deals. So this is how it works. If you are buying wrong, then your debt to income ratio will go down with every single purchase. All right. You're welcome, Holden. All right. Would you encourage people getting an LLC before seeking to purchase in their own name? So NACA, VA, and FHA do not finance LLCs. They only finance individuals. I don't encourage you to get an LLC until you have at least 10 doors. You can have up to 10 mortgages in your name, in your personal name. Okay. People say, oh, but what about liability, this and that? Well, with a single member LLC, you really have no protection unless you know how to set it up with anonymity. So a single member LLC, it is easy to pierce the corporate veil, right? And so you're really not protected. The way you protect yourself, you just get insurance, family. You just get insurance, period. That's how you protect yourself. I've had somebody slip and fall on one of my properties before. Insurance handled everything, okay? So that is the key to protecting yourself. You don't need to go create all these other infrastructures, like LLC for every single property. You don't need that yet. You're not that advanced yet. We're just trying to get you your first property, all right? Peter Gay, I answered that for self-employed folks. Can you use FHA if you have purchased a rental property in an LLC? Ashley, if that rental property purchase under the LLC is not showing up on your credit report, then FHA or your lender will not be aware of that debt, and you should be able to use FHA. All right. How do you calculate CapEx? CapEx is, I set aside 10% of rents for CapEx. So if rents are $4,000, I set aside $400 every single month for CapEx. Okay, so $400 a month is going to a separate account to cover future roof repair, foundation, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, major things. Okay. All right. How did the pandemic affect my portfolio? I said it on the webinar, family. Half of my portfolio is Section 8. So whether the economy is up or down, guess what? I'm getting paid by the government, whether the economy is up or down. All right. Then of my market rate tenants, I know how to screen them very well. So I choose people who are in education or in healthcare. So out of my 38 units, I only had 3 people downsize. Nobody tried to live for free off of me during the pandemic. Okay. I had 3 people downsize, move back home, etc. And I filled those units back. This is how you protect your portfolio, family, is that you diversify it by having guaranteed programs like Section 8. Make sure that you cover your mortgages. My Section 8 tenants cover about 90% of all my mortgages. So even if none of my market rate tenants paid during the pandemic, I would have only had to come out of pocket about $1,200 to fill the gap. But my market rate tenants, I screen them very well. The first asset is the building. The second asset is who you allow to live in that building. All right. So this is a real key part of the equation, right? It's not just about getting the property. You actually have to know how to manage that property. All right. I'll take 2 more questions and then we'll call it a night. If you're married, but one person is on the mortgage, you should be free and good to go, right? So go see if you can get finance on your own if you are married, but only one person is on the mortgage, okay? Kay, should I sell my single family to do the 4-3-2-1 strategy? Kay, it all depends. There's a lot of questions I would have to ask you. Who's in your family? Do you have kids? Are they in a great school district? How much equity is in your home? How much do you owe? What is your interest rate? What market are you in? Are you willing to live in a single, in a multifamily? Are you ready to run the 4-3-2-1 play? Are you attached to that single family home? Is there any nostalgia to it? Are you entangled with it, right? These are all kinds of questions that are you married? These are the kind of questions that I'll have to ask you in the hot seat to help you make the best decision for you and your family, okay? Cool, she said she would sell. All right. Last question. I'm sorry, family, that's over 100 questions. I'm trying to get to as many as I can. I'm checking for duplicates. Kyrie, yes. Do you teach how to buy properties in other states? I just said it. Your money does not have to work in the same city as you do. I bought my property in Oakland and in New Orleans without being there. So when you know how to play the game at this level, yes, you can buy anywhere. I do not have any PA. I do not have any experience in Canada. I only teach what I know, family, and what I've done. All right. Last question. Best financial play for married couple with 0 doors, NACA or FHA. So, and you both want to buy separately, and the program that you go and is based on your income and your credit. So if you have high income and great credit, then you probably just want to go conventional. But if one of you has low income or high income and bad credit, you may want to go NACA. So it all depends on your income and your credit. All right. So Nicole, Billy, Shanice, Anonymous, Gail, Peter, Christina, Jay, Kwani, Sean, Al, Malik, I see your questions. There's many more. Devon, Tamika, JV. I won't be able to get to them tonight. I appreciate you. I hope I've given you enough information to make an informed decision about joining the program or just buying multifamily real estate. Whatever you decide, Matt and I wish you the best. Whatever you decide, whether you decide to join or not, we wish you the best. We only know one way to get rid of your housing expense forever, and that is through multifamily real estate. It's March 30th. Rent is due on April 1st, and it's going to continue to be due every 30 days until you do something different. And so since this is the only pathway we know to get rid of your housing expense, we love to guide you on the pathway of the above ground railroad to rent and mortgage freedom. So with that, on behalf of Matt, my brother Matt and I, we want to say thank you so much for showing up. You didn't show up for us, you showed up for yourself, your financial future, and for your last name. And we would love for you to give us permission to guide you and to lead you to rent and mortgage freedom through the above ground railroad by acquiring your first multifamily home or your second or your third, fourth, fifth, sixth, until you have an entire portfolio. All right. Yes. The list of down payment assistance programs will be sent out via email tomorrow. So keep an eye out on your email for that and for the replay. This opportunity ends on Saturday at midnight Eastern Standard Time. Check the timer on the page and also check the pricing. the pricing. I'll talk to Matt to see if he wants to keep the pricing at $2,497. If not, it will go up to $2,997 at midnight tonight. So I'm gonna connect with him tomorrow and see if we are gonna keep that price as it is, or it's gonna go back to the original price. All right. Appreciate you, love you, wish you all the best on your journeys, and have a good one. Peace.